Hi, I'm Jenna Erickson, a labor and delivery nurse turned home birth advocate. I help families who are feeling disempowered by the highly medicalized prenatal care and hospital birth options they currently have to explore their options for out-of-hospital birth, that is, giving birth at home or a freestanding birth center. I help you to do this by diving deep into all the areas that I hear over and over again are concerns that families have. We start with all the information around the safety of giving birth at home or a birth center, as this is undoubtedly the top question on most people's minds. Is giving birth outside the hospital really safe? I'm here to tell you that yes, the data shows that giving birth outside the hospital is just as safe as being in the hospital for low-risk pregnancies. Next, I help you to see how the environment that you labor and give birth in, as well as the support team that you have around you, really does impact how your mind and body progress through labor and birth. As one of my favorite experts in this area says, women in birth need to feel safe and unobserved. Feeling confident and comfortable in your surroundings gives your body the best chances of doing what it's supposed to do, birth without complication. Knowing all of this helps you to understand your body on a deep level and to feel confident in your decision to give birth outside the hospital. How do I know this? Because I was in your shoes. After the birth of my first baby, which was in the hospital, I was an experienced labor and delivery nurse at the time, and I wanted a low intervention, natural labor and birth. But I also wanted to be a good patient, and I trusted in the routine procedures that are common at most hospitals. Long story short, I did have a vaginal birth, but with many interventions to get me there, and I was left feeling disappointed and disempowered by the whole experience. This first birth, coupled with all the experiences I've had working in the hospital, led me to understand that having a natural, low-intervention birth is very hard in many hospital settings, with everything from the environment to the policies to the staff training and provider beliefs and attitudes impacting your birth. Many people have asked me, but Jenna, you've seen all the things that can go wrong during birth. How can you feel comfortable giving birth outside the hospital? Yes, I have seen those things go wrong in birth. And what I came to realize is that yes, there are certain risk factors that make giving birth in the hospital necessary. And yes, all births have inherent risks no matter where they take place. But the vast majority of the complications I've seen arise can be traced back to what many would refer to as the cascade of interventions. That is, when one intervention leads to another and another. So what would have happened if this labor would have been allowed to start and progress all on its own? What would have happened if this woman would have been allowed to move freely in labor and had continuous support from a trained supporter such as a doula? Again, what the data shows us is that the likelihood of it ending in this emergency situation would have been much less likely. Ultimately, I looked at all of the risks of giving birth in the hospital and out and decided that I was more comfortable with the risks of giving birth outside the hospital. So once I decided this, I had to find a qualified provider, help get my partner on board, and decide how I was going to manage things like telling others about my plans while also protecting my own mental space. And I learned a lot. I won't sugarcoat it. A lot of women find it difficult to step outside the mainstream medical model of care. It's just all we know. But exploring this option, learning about your body's innate wisdom and abilities will give you so much confidence in yourself and your baby, and that goes way beyond where your birth takes place. Imagine feeling heard and supported throughout your pregnancy and birth journey. That's the kind of support that families who seek care outside the hospital receive. This is the kind of care that sets you up for success as you step into parenthood, which is ultimately the reason that I feel compelled to spread this word. My goal is that you leave empowered to continue down your journey to have an amazing birth that you deserve. Join me for this course starting in December by getting on the wait list today. Thank you.